Welcome to Beyond Your Limits Fitness. Thanks for joining me today. Let's get to work. Today, we're going to work on just some cleans, where I'm going to find just take some time to warm up my clean. We're going to work on some hang power clean, and then we're going to do a little Metcon conditioning after, where we do some deadlifts, some push-ups, and some double unders. You can do double unders if you got them. If not, just single leg, just single jump rope. I would just do the 1-to-2 ratio. So if we're going to do 50, for example, you just do 100 single double unders. But yeah, let me start warming up and we can get into it.
A few minutes later.
So it's going to be two parts to this workout. The first one is we're going to build up to a heavy 5-rep power clean. And that's going to be the, I guess we would call like the strength portion of the workout. And then we're going to move into the metabolic, I can't talk, it's early. Metabolic conditioning piece of it, where we're going to hit the deadlifts, the push-ups, and the jump rope, right? And the pull from the ground here for our clean is definitely going to warm up our deadlift. So we should be nice and warm when we start getting to our deadlift, and then we'll be able to just kind of transition from that into the Metcon. I'm just going to say Metcon because I can't talk this morning. Into the Metcon for what we're going to do today. Building the strength on the clean as we are working through the strength set. We're going to take about 10 minutes, 10-12 minutes, and establish a nice solid 5-rep power clean or hang power clean, whatever your preference is. And since we're doing, and if you're not familiar with the cleans, then we can also substitute that for deadlifts, right? We can build to a nice moderate weight deadlift that we can use to translate to our workout. So we can get into cleans, but this workout's not going to be centered around the clean form itself. So if you have cleans, great. If not, you can just start with the deadlift, and we can use that to work into our strength portion as well as work into the Metcon. So that was set number 2, and that felt pretty good, right? When we're hitting these cleans, if we're doing cleans, we want to make sure we're taking our time and patiently pulling past our knees up to our hips, and use that hips to be really explosive and get underneath that bar pretty quick. And then once we catch that weight and receiving position of the clean, then we're going to stand tall, use our legs to power through that. If we were doing a deadlift to work out, to warm up, right, for our strength, we're just making sure we're pulling past the knees and pulling back toward the hip and driving those knees outward. Just the key points to think about there. Why we want to do that? We want to drive those knees outward so that we make sure that we are pulling the barbell around our knees instead of straight up, and then pulling it right into our hip pocket. So we're using those hamstrings and glutes to work through those, to work through that repetition. Finished our strength portion, right? That was either doing the power cleans, building up to a 5-rep, a moderate 5-rep, or if you went the deadlift option, also doing the same, going for a moderate 5-rep. So as we go into the Metcon piece of this, we want to make sure we have 3 movements, right? We want to make sure that we are picking a weight that you can rep out 10 reps, right? Close to unbroken, maybe 1 break, right? So if you can go 5 and 5, something of that nature. And the weight that we pick should be less than the weight that we used in the strength portion, right? We don't want to be heavier than that. Probably significantly less because we did 5 reps and now we're trying to go for 10 for a period of time, right? So we're going to do 4 rounds, and we're going to do 12 minutes of work. Every 3 minutes, we're going to knock out the 10 deadlifts, 15 push-ups, and double unders. And for the remainder of that 3 minutes, we'll rest, right? So you do like a rest time. And then, okay. So, and when we go through, so we're going to do 12 minutes of work, 4 rounds of 3 minutes, right? And how it's going to look is we're going to do a certain amount of work and a certain amount of time. And whatever time you have left, in that time, you'll rest until the next round, right? So every round will be 3 minutes. We will do 10 deadlifts, 15 push-ups, and let's just say 50 double unders. 25 double unders. If you got it, 50 singles, right? It should take a nice quick amount of time. So we want that scheme to be pretty light. If you are struggling with jumping or jump ropes, anything of that nature, you can definitely scale that back. It's just about being able to get a certain amount of work done. So if 50 is too many, maybe we go to 25. If 25 is too many, maybe even go to 20, right? I think 20 is a good bare minimum that we can hit for that. And then we just want to make sure that we move well and move consistent. So good form on the weight. We're not trying to have it so heavy that we can't keep good form. So we're just going to go 10 deadlifts, 15 push-ups. If you can't do push-ups properly, all fours in a plank position, then we can reduce the reps. Or you can go to your knees, right? You can do push-ups on your hands and knees for the 15. Again, it's not so much about having the best, knocking out the most reps of everything. It's about being able to do something consistently for a certain amount of time. So however you can get it, you'll still get a really effective workout if you can do 15 push-ups from the hands and knees versus push-ups in a regular push-up position. So we'll do that. Pretty much that's what we're going to strive for. If you find after your first round, the first round is going to be a good tester, right? So if you find that after the first round, you weren't able to maintain the pace and you're pushing up right against 3 minutes, I want you to have at least 30 seconds to rest, right? So we can scale the reps back, right? If that maybe 5 deadlifts or 8 deadlifts instead of 10, push-ups, maybe you go to 10 instead of 15. The goal is to kind of gauge where you are in that first round. So as you move through the next few rounds, you're not thinking so much about if you can handle and still get a good amount of rest, right? So let's take that first round to really gauge what that looks like, and then we're gonna move, and these rounds are back to back, right? So if it takes you 2 minutes to finish your round, you got a minute to rest, and then you're gonna go right into it. If you take 2 minutes and 25 seconds, then you'll have 35 seconds to rest. The goal is to be finished with 2.5 minutes. So you have about 30 seconds of rest before you go into your next round. All right. Hope you should have no questions. If you do, just play this back before you get started, right? Let's go get it. I'll see you on the other side. All right, so we did it, right? Whew. That was spicy. So, great job. I hope you were able to stay pretty consistent in your reps. Hopefully finishing somewhat around the same time every round. If not, hopefully the variation wasn't too much. And if you found that your first round was too much, I hope that you cut down so that you were able to be able to have about 30 seconds less of rest after each round. That was good. So just make sure we're stretching, hydrating for the rest of the day after a nice strong workout like that. And thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to the video. Really appreciate you being here. And just remember, we try to win today, every day.